Okay, here are my orders. I have them all set up on my table where I pack and ship everything. I've got all of my thank you cards written and packed in papers. I used two different book pages for my envelopes today. One is from this book that I could not rescue because it doesn't have a cover and you can see how damaged it is. But this is an interesting history book on, I think it's on like ancient Rome. And it is beautiful. There's got ancient myths and things about culture, art, all kinds of stuff. So I've been having a lot of fun making envelopes out of that paper. And then the other one is a golden book that I had that I couldn't fix. So I've been using the pages from the golden book to make envelopes as well. So I've got all my thank you cards written, everything packed in the cards, and I'm just going to show you the orders that I got from this weekend. So the first one was this really fun set of 3 rainbow book sets. So this is the first one. This is a large rainbow set. So these books are all oversized and nice kind of a jewel toned book set. So this person ordered this set. Let me just take this and set it aside. And take a drink of coffee. Oh, and then they bought this set also, which is a rainbow children's book set. Isn't that fun? So we have some Whitman young adult books, Donna Parker and the Wishing Year, then a Bobbsey Twins, Family Treasury of Children's Stories. This is Best in Children's Books. That's a wonderful series. Sue Barton, Superintendent of Nurses. This is Alice in Wonderland. This is a vintage school book. This is another vintage school book that is just gorgeous. West Virginia Stories and Biographies. Then this is a Reader's Digest Teenage Treasury book. Girl Scout Handbook. This book is called John Jewett's Adventure. Then another Reader's Digest Teenage Treasury book. These are gorgeous. I have a whole set in a slipcase of these available in the shop right now. Little Lame Prince. So that's a nice purple. Okay, so we'll set that aside. And then the last set this person bought was this jewel toned set that I absolutely love. I love these colors so much. So I've got 2 green, 2 blue, 2 yellow, 2 red, and 2 pinkish colors. Isn't that beautiful? I'm just so excited that all 3 of these rainbow sets are going to the same person. I hope they can send me a picture and show me what they look like. Okay, another book set that sold is this giant set of Oxford books. These are all navy blue Oxfords. So we have Oxford Book of English Verse and a French English Oxford Dictionary. And then the European Discovery of America and the Oxford Book of Short Stories. Oxford Dictionary of Political Quotations. Putting my glasses on. Oxford Dictionary of Art. Oxford Dictionary of Quotations, and the Oxford Companion to English Literature. So that is a really cool set. I do have 1 or 2 other sets like this in the shop right now, but I was really glad this one sold because the photography on this one was not so great, and it really annoyed me and bugged me, and I felt like it took longer to sell than it should have because of that, but now it's sold. Okay, let me put this over here and we'll trade places with this one. Okay, so this is obviously a Hardy Boys set. This is a set that I got in Nashville about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So this is 1 through 20 of Hardy Boys vintage, obviously. So that's what they look like. I got these in Estate. So 1 through 20. And those were just listed last week and they sold pretty much right away. Okay, 2 more book sets I sold. So this one was really new to the shop. This is a shabby neutral. So we have Look to the Mountain, The Web of Days, Writing Mature Prose. And then this shabby one doesn't even have a spine anymore. Let's see what it is. It's obviously an old school book of some sort. A new graded series, The American Educational Reader's Fifth Reader. This is a second reader reading literature. And then this one is also missing its spine. It is, let's see, Richard II, Makers of History by Jacob Abbott, 1900. So there's that. Very pretty neutral set. I really liked that. And it looks like this is the last book set that I sold this weekend. This is a copper set that I really loved. I just made this recently, so it's only been in the shop about a week. But I love the gold accents and the mix of like copper and brown and gold. Really pretty. I really like this one. This is Three Came Home, Madame Bovary, The Brothers Karamazov, The Quinta Years, and this is a religious book, Revivals of Religion, Christian classics. Aren't they pretty together? Okay, now let's look at some individual book orders. This one, somebody bought these 3 books together. The first one is Who is Anne Rand? The second one is this beautiful Byron's Complete Works. This is obviously an antique, but I love that it also had the person's name on the front. So, the works of Lord Byron, embracing his suppressed poems and a sketch of his life. This is from 1853. And it's in very good condition for being so old. It's leather bound just on the spine and then on the corners. Isn't that nice? And then this is Winslow Homer's America, 1857 to 1880. So this is the nice art book. New England Factory Life. Bell Time, Harper's Weekly, July 25th, 1868. The Coolest Spot in New England, Summit of Mount Washington, Harper's Bazaar, July 23rd, 1870. So, those 3 are going to a new home together. And then this book is quite funny. How to Lose Friends and Alienate People by Irving Tressler. So this was a humor book that was made, obviously, in response to how to win friends and influence people. What are the best ways to bore a bore? How does one discourage would-be overnight guests? What are the best ways to penetrate the sensitivities of people with elephant-like hides? So, I just listed this book this week too, and it sold right away, and I hope it goes to somebody that really appreciates it and has a lot of fun with it. If you're wrong, don't admit it. Isn't that funny? Okay, here is a Boston Cooking School cookbook. These always sell right away. So this is a Fannie Farmer cookbook. This one is just destroyed. It is seriously distressed, worn, shabby, soiled. And when you open it up, it's got all these handwritten recipes on the front pages. This has a name and a date, 1931. So this was obviously a heavily used cookbook and got a lot of wear and tear, but you know what? Those are the best cookbooks to find. So I didn't know whether that one would sell because it is so soiled and so worn, but it did. It sold right away. Okay, here's an order that somebody purchased 2 books in. The Blue Domer's Nest. Let me tell you about this book. I have had this book forever, and I could not understand why it would not sell. It is so beautiful. It was a little bit more expensive, but still, it's just such a gorgeous book, and it took forever to sell. But I finally got it sold, and it's going to a new home. I love that it looks exactly the same inside as the dust jacket. And then this is a really cool book, too, that's going along with it. I really like this illustrated animal book. The illustrations are really handsome. They don't look too dated. Like sometimes you'll get like a 1970s book and it's just not a cool illustration style, but this is really nice. I really enjoy this one a lot. This is definitely, I think, an underappreciated nature study book. So I was really glad that one sold too, because I do like that one a lot. I really enjoy it when I find it. I found it a couple of times now. Okay, next, how about this? Patsy Jefferson of Monticello by Marguerite Vance. So this is a book for children. It's a biography of Patsy Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson's child. It was written in 1948. And this author also wrote another book called Martha, Daughter of Virginia. So this is a Junior Literary Guild selection. So this book sold within a day of being listed. And this is one that I got from a collection here in town where I live that a friend of mine told me about. Okay, now this, oh, I think this book goes along with this one. Yes, these two were bought together. This book is amazing, you guys. I almost never, I actually can't think of a time in the past when I chose to list a vintage or antique yearbook from a college. I just don't do it. But this one I had to because it is absolutely gorgeous. So this is the Calyx, which is the yearbook of Washington and Lee University. This is from 1927. Look at these illustrations. They are stunning. Stunning. Just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. So beautiful. I mean, that one, I would frame that. It's so pretty. Sorry if you can hear my dog chewing on her bone. Now, when I flipped through this book, it was just so cool to see some of the pictures of the young people, especially in the activities section. So there's some bands, Washington and Lee University Band, the debating team. And here are some cool photos of people dressed up for plays. And the dress style is just so cool, this 1920s flapper style. Look at this girl in her costume. Miss Elizabeth Neely in fancy dress costume. And here's some kind of costume ball. There's a man dressed up like a prisoner. And then look at this. Miss Venity Viley, Atlanta, Georgia. Look how beautiful she is. Miss Clara Donald. Miss Dorothea Stevenson. I mean, this is stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. The Cotillion Club. And then you have the sports in the back here. So there's the gym team, the baseball players, basketball, football players. It's so cool. So yeah, I decided to list this because I thought it was so special. Look at the advertisements in the back. Buick Cars and Service. Roanoke Grocery and Milling Co. Hotel Roanoke. Society Brand Clothes. Dobbs Hats, Florsham Shoes, Wilson Brothers Furniture. The phone number is 295. This phone number is 514. Graham and Father, shoeologist and haberdasher. Brooks Brothers Clothing, gentlemen's furnishing goods. Clothing for sport and general country wear. Send for Brooks Miscellany. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry to see this one go. It is so special. But, yep, it sold. So those two sold. I listed them both on the same day, and they both sold that day. Okay, let's move on. This book is really special, too. This is the New or Western World, Volume 2. So this is an old history book, and it's gorgeous inside. The New World, Embracing American History. This is from 1857. And it's got lovely color illustrations throughout. Look at that. Heavily illustrated. That is just beautiful. The Treaty of Penn with the Indians. The settlers of New England going to church. I thought there was a map in here too. Oh, look at the flags. Oh my goodness, it's just beautiful. So glad this is going to a new home. So there's that. Okay, here is another order. This person ordered 4 books. So the first one is Lawrence's Adventures. This is an antique children's storybook. Got an inscription there. Lawrence's Adventures Among the Ice Cutters, Glassmakers, Coal Miners, Ironmen, and Shipbuilders. Let's see if I can find a date really quickly. 1870. This is beautiful poetical works of Felicia Hemans. This is also from the 1800s. This is an edition of Grimm's Fairy Tales. It's got quite a bit of spine separation there. It's a really pretty edition though. There's a black and white illustration. That looks like Little Red Riding Hood. This is from 1913. So that's also antique. And then Charm. This is a book on being charming for women. It is from 1934. Conversation. Being natural. Physical charm, men and women, correspondence, individuality, poise, harmony. Don't assume an exaggerated inferiority. Isn't that cool? I love it. Okay, so those 4 are going to a new home. And here is a book that sold yesterday, A Little Cowboy's Christmas. This is a wonder book, and it's in excellent condition. It doesn't have any writing in it or anything. So it's a story about a little boy who wants a horse for Christmas. Look at what good condition that is in. I am not surprised that sold right away. Super cute. I've got a couple more here. Let me take a sip of coffee. From my Ravenclaw mug. Okay, Joy of Cooking. This is a very shabby old edition. I better put this away. Over here. The Joy of Cooking. These always sell right away. This one I was also nervous about because it is so heavily worn, but I list it and I try to be very accurate with my photos and my description, and it sold right away. This is always a very popular antique book, or vintage, sorry. Okay, got 3 more individual books that sold individually. So this one is Mother, Home, and Heaven. It's very delicate. With poetic and prose literature for all ages and all lands, 1880. So just a bunch of heartwarming, uplifting stories of family life and religious study. Really beautiful book. And then this cool edition of Thumbelina, it has some soiling on the top just from how it was stored, but this was printed. This is a great a British edition of Thumbelina, and it's got this interesting illustration style. So you can see some pages are just illustrated like this, but then others have this like almost like claymation style scene illustration. I'm not sure how it was made. It's really unique. But it's a beautiful cover too. I just love it. It's from 1944. Okay, I think this is the last book I have. This is Louisa Alcott, Girl of Old Boston. So this is part of the Childhood of Famous Americans series, which is very popular with families today still, especially homeschoolers that are looking for living books, books that teach history in an engaging and interesting way for kids instead of being boring. So this is an old library book. It's got a library pocket and some stamps on it and lots of cover soiling. But this is obviously about Louisa May Alcott's childhood, and this book was published in 1943. I also got Stephen Foster, Boy Minstrel, which is still listed on the website. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed looking through all of my orders. Now it's time for me to pack these all in brown paper and get them sent out in the mail.